It was 12 a.m. yesterday and a bunch of PRs still come into our codebase, and it was not because of us working particularly hard, but we have agent wake up every 30 minutes, scan our codebase for any improvements and errors, check our server logs, and ship a PR. And every PR, a verifier agent will test for it and attach evidence for us to review. For some low-risk fix, it can even merge directly. And also a CRM lifecycle agent will scan through our use base and find useful segments to outrage and neutral. And our support ticket is automatically handled no matter which language user is speaking. And none of this is a demo. All those loop has been running our company super design for the past months. And today I'm going to show you exactly what we learned from building those loops. What worked, what didn't work. So hopefully by the end of this video, you understand loops than most people in your timeline. So last week I wrote about Loop Engineer, the shift from you prompting the agent to do a task towards designing a system where the agent can decide what to work on, execute, verifies, and improve over time. And a lot of you said, okay, I'm sold, but how do I actually build one that actually works? Because honestly, everyone can just put together a loop using Cloud Code or Codex and code it down. But that's easy 5%. The real work is how do you design guardrails that let you walk away from it? A loop that can consistently delivering the work safely and improve themselves over time. So every loop we build internally have this exact structure. We normally have one markdown file that is holding both what we call loop contract as well as state and log of this loop. And this serving as living documentations about the loop itself. Then there will be trigger layer that actually wake up the agent to do the work. And there are different type of trigger, which I will talk through a bit more. Then the actual agent that's going to find the work, does the work, and prove the work has been done properly. And keep updating the docs so the next round starts smarter. So the first part, the loop contract. This is the crux of the MD file. It's like the constitution of the loop. And three things really matter and lives inside. One is the goal. So what does the winning look like? Whether there's even a finish line. And also the boundaries. You want to make it very clear what agent can just do by self versus the ones that actually need to escalate to human. And third is SOP, if you have a specific workflow or principle that you want agent to follow every time. And after that, there's a state and logs. So this is what keep agent remember what the things that ever tried before, what are the learnings. And normally split it into two parts. One is the state. So state is like a durable picture. What's the current hypothesis agent has? What are all the backlogs? What are the things that agent has shipped but needs follow-up? And this part, generally, you want to keep it fairly small and on purpose. Versus log is the append-only record of whatever happened run by run. And without this block, every morning the loop just rediscovers the same noise arrow waste token on chasing the thing that it already tried. And for most small loops, you can basically just put both loop contract and state and log into just one file. And let's take through one example. This is one loop we are running in our codebase called React Doctor Checks. What it does is that we're utilizing this open source CRI tool called React Doctor, which is CRI you can run in your front-end codebase, and it will automatically identify some of the critical issues, listing it out and give you a score. So this loop is basically running this React Doctor scan on our codebase every day and pick up one of the most critical issues to fix automatically. So in this loop's contract dot, we have this scope folder that is talking about the purpose of this loop and also a boundary section. And we're talking about how it should spawn a sub-agent to do the fix in an isolated work trees format and how you need to run through the verification process as well as what kind of change it can just merge by itself versus one that it needs human reviews. Below that, it lists out a SOP about the common workflow it should follow, as well as a state section that is mentioning its current understanding about this loop, what are the tickets and PR already open and shipped, what are things that needs follow-up, and then append-only logs after each round to log what other things has been happening. So every day, agent will be wake up with this documentation as a prompt to trigger the agent start the work. And we actually build an internal tool so that we have a dashboard to track what as the PR has been opened and merged and how is the React Doctor health score improved over time. And this loop contract documentation is not just applicable to engineer-related tasks. As I mentioned, we also have this CRM lifecycle loop, where every day I will have our agent to monitor all the daily active users, group them into different segmentations, like ones are small influencers that we should reach out for affiliates and distribution, users who are clearly frustrated based on the large number of logs we have, as well as users who are pretty engaged but haven't upgraded yet. And for each segment, depends on the priorities and risk level, agent can just either auto outreach or draft a message to waiting for me for approval. And this CRM daily run also has a very similar structure. So we have this documentation that is talking about the goal and SOP for this loop. Then we have a list of boundaries. What are the pros and pitfalls agents should be aware of when they were doing the research, and what kind of message the agent can just send by themselves versus will need approval. Then it has state section that listing out its current understanding and hypothesis, as well as a timeline. So since we have been running this loop for like almost months, this documentation just keep getting updated after every single run. And the structure we have is we basically have a loop folder, and under each loop, we can contain one README file. And sometimes there might be other artifacts which can also be saved in the folder and referenced in the ME file. So this is the first two parts, the loop contract as well as the state log. And next part is a trigger. So every loop will have some sort of trigger, but depending on the type of loop, you might define trigger differently. And part of the reason why current loop will feel a bit confusing is because of different trigger types. So we all know Codex and Cloud Code has this go command where you can define condition and give it go. Then you keep running for loops until the task has completed. And this is the first type of trigger. It's like a continuous for loop. You can imagine behind the scenes it's just a while loop. While the goal is not satisfied, or sometimes you can define the max back and forth turns or a token budget. And before those things are hit, it will just continuously doing the same, load up this contract, do the next step until the goal is satisfied. And this, as I mentioned before, is basically the go command. It is particularly good for scenario where you can get immediate feedback loops, like bug fixing or implementing a piece of complex software that the spec is well defined. And meanwhile, the second type of trigger is those type of cron job. This is like Codex automation or Cloud Code's loop or schedule command. Fundamentally, it will just trigger and wake up the agent in certain interval. And the only difference between loop and schedule is that one is running in the cloud versus one is running in the same session. And these two types of trigger already handle a good amount of scenarios. But often I found also useful to have event-based loop as well, which means it's kind of reactive to certain events. Like whenever there's a new email, you might want to wake up the agent and let it handle the email. Or whenever your server gets incident, then you want to wake up the agent and get it to fix the incident immediately. And those type of event-based trigger is particularly good for things that needs immediate handling. However, both Cloud Code and Codex don't natively support those type of triggers. So what you want to do is actually set up a local daemon process that exposes a URL for any webhook to send notifications. So for example, you can create a webhook on render and point to your local daemon URL to receive certain failed events. And fourth, and probably the most useful type of trigger I found is what I call a combo or workflow. So we can have a tickers that's still running turbo, but instead of trigger the agent immediately, ideally we just run a script to fetch from data source to check programmatically where there are new works to handle. For example, for our support inbox triage loop, we actually define a JavaScript here. So you can fetch from intercom what are the recent updates from the past 30 minutes. If there are any real updates, then trigger the agent to handle. If not, just skip this specific run. And this one we found is particularly effective and useful because you can run the loop in much more cost and token efficient way by batching a group amount of work together for the agent to handle and only wake up agent when there's real work. And both first two triggers support out-of-box from Cloud Code and Codex, but the other two type of triggers you will need to set up your own local script and daemon service. And for us, we have this internal tool that we built to run this type of triggers, which we just open source and you can run locally. It talks directly to a local agent, but your team will have this kind of centralized place to manage all the loops, contrast, state log, and triggers. And I'll talk about this project a bit later. But this third part of the trigger, I think choosing the right trigger for the specific type of loop that you're running will really drive down the cost a lot. And third is the actual agent that is going to be wake up and execute the tasks. And normally the agent will go through the three stages of first they gather the signals and find and prioritize the work, then start executing the task. And if it's a complex high-stake task like engineer tickets, you typically will have a verifier at the quality before you claim finish. For simpler tasks, you might have just one agent doing both three of these jobs. But for more complex type of tasks, you typically will want to break it down into three different roles. And most common structure is this orchestrator agent, which will receive the prompt, doing the research and planning of the task. Then spawn sub-agents, each one working isolated worktree, so tasks can be ran in parallel. And each executor should hand off tasks to a verifier who can test the result and also attach evidence to the PR. So it became much easier for humans to review the tasks. And all the updates will be sent back to the loop contract doc. So this is kind of the core piece of every loop that we ran. And I have talked about verifier quite a bit before, especially for engineer tasks. This is like the prerequisite to any loop that is delivering high-stake work, like real production code change or messaging real customers. Basically, you want to making sure the process is quite easy and produce evidence that human can easily review. Generally, that means that you want to give agent an environment that they can verify their work token efficiently. If you've been following my content, I've made a few articles around that already, regarding how do you use things like Playwright CLI to let agent test and record video or image evidence about the work, and utilizing things like Crabbox to set up a remote sandbox environment to do the test, so you won't be restricted by how many dev server you can run in parallel on your local machine. And I have packaged this links into a skill called verifier setup, so you can just give to Cloud Code or Codex in your actual codebase, then set up the proper verification systems. And I put the link in the description below for this GitHub repo with all the skills that we talk about here, so you can use it for free. So this is the overall system and anatomy of what does a good loop look like in our case. And meanwhile, another really useful layer we found is this evolve loop. So the concept here is that most of the loop, when you're just getting started, might not be perfect. There could be a lot of room for improvements, like how do you design the trigger so it's more cost effective? How can you turn some of the repetitive SOP into script that agent can run? And a lot of those improvements can actually be optimized by the large language model itself. If you give agent all the existing configuration of the agent, the past run state and logs, as well as a role conversation history so that it can inspect further. And all we need to do is just after every 5 or 10 loop runs, we trigger a dedicated evolve session where the agent will be given the existing configuration, past log histories, then prioritize on change. And change can be the loop contract itself or some outdated state, as well as a trigger script that it can create for repetitive actions. And support loop here is actually a perfect example. It was actually during the evolve run, it starts setting up this programmatic trigger to only wake up agent when it's necessary. So this is the overall system and anatomy of what does a good loop look like for us. And we can go through a few examples together to set this up. And one really good one to start with is this documentation maintainer loop. So I know most of you will have either documentations or some sort of Claude.md and codebase documentation file to help agent gain the full context. But that context can often get outdated. But you can solve this by setting up a simple loop where every day you can wake up the agent to check what has been shipped past 24 hours and what are diffs, and compare those changes with the README, the setup guide, the examples, and runbooks. And for each abnormal part, it can actually verify which one is actually true. And if there's nothing stored, then just finish the session. But if there is, then you can just make some small quick fix to making sure the documentation is up to date and open a PR for that. This loop is very small but quite useful to use. And the way we will set up is loop contract look like this, that clearly lists out the goal and the boundary about what it can ship by itself and what other things it is allowed to do. And you will notice this one rules here called never rewrite accurate doc to look busy, because one default behavior we saw agent has is that it will tend to do something even though it's not necessary. So this kind of rules is actually quite useful to making sure it produces useful results. And then an SOP and state and logs. So you can simply give this markdown file to your Cloud Code or Codex and ask it to set up a loop based on this. But as I mentioned before, we actually built this internal tool that we have been using to coordinate and set up loops for us. It allows you to define those kind of programmatic triggers that we shared before, but also set up a contract based on the best practice that we learned. And also past row run logs will also be stored so the agent can remember by itself. And it has this evolve loop behavior built in automatically. So you can see after every few sessions, there will be a blue dot popping up. And this blue dot is a dedicated evolve run. They will look at past run and then figure out improvements that can be done. Like in this specific evolve, it sharpened the specs and SOP, clean up some outdated state, and also update the dashboard for us to easier track the performance, which we found is actually pretty useful because quite often you don't really know the output from the loop. But with this one, we can easily track what are the open things that needs our attention and how the performance change over time. And if needed, can just click a button which will copy all the context over about this loop to my local computer so I can chat with the agent to evolve the loop. And we have included a few templates here already, and doc maintainer is one of them. So I can just copy this prompt and go to my repo and paste it in. It will automatically include a list of instructions about how this loop should be built, alongside some best practice that we encode here. Then it will automatically create this Loopany folder in your codebase, as well as this doc drift sweep loop. So this is a loop where it will talk about the scope of things it should review, which is README, Claude.md, everything in the docs folder, the skill file, the scripts, and then it will talk through the SOP here, and the state of current understanding and timeline items. And then we'll have this loop created on Loopany, which will automatically trigger the agent on time and keep log of things ever shipped, all the artifacts and all the runs. And there are a few other templates that we've been using, and you can just copy paste, like this React Doctor loop, or the loops that periodically clean up the tech debt. And this is totally open source and free to use. So feel free to just go to GitHub and start using it. I put a GitHub link in the description below so you can try. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.